Hello everyone, I welcome you all on this YouTube channel UPSC Logic. This is me Rahul and today we are going to cover The Hindu analysis for your public administration optional, and we are going to cover the important articles that were there on the dates 1st of November and 2nd of November 2023. So the first important article on the date 1st November you can see on your screen. It is regarding the Pegasus battle. So here we are basically again witnessing a kind of surveillance state where recently there was the notification by Apple iPhone that there is a kind of surveillance from the state sponsored surveillance is something that was highlighted by Apple through a notification. So again this issue of surveillance state came into picture, and what you need to understand, you need to relate this specific keyword or this specific terminology surveillance state with your accountability and control, because it is given in your syllabus. If you read the syllabus, paper 1 has accountability and control, and surveillance state basically reduces the accountability of the government and it reduces the control that a citizen can have on the state machinery or on the functioning of the state. So you just need to relate this entire Pegasus controversy, or for that matter the controversy with respect to surveillance, and you just need to relate this thing with the accountability and control. Okay, apart from that, what you need to understand that it is against the philosophical framework of the constitution and government. So if you read philosophical framework, it talks about constitutionalism. Even UPSC prelims have if you read the previous year question of UPSC CSE prelims, you will get that constitutionalism was asked in 2020 as well as in 2021. So it is about the limited government, but here because of surveillance state or because of this kind of activity by state, the alleged activity of the state, because of this thing what is happening is that this entire concept of constitutionalism is under threat. So you just need to relate this thing with the constitutionalism. You need to relate it with the political culture that we are having, because ultimately political culture is going to influence the voting behavior of the individual. Okay, so this is how this will influence the public choice theory as well. So you just need to understand this as well, because here public choice theory क्या होती है कि state के मतलब जो individual या citizen है, how they are choosing the individual, or what are the choice they have. So surveillance state will basically influence or manipulate this thing. You can relate this thing with the, you can say, cyber things, etc. For example, the Cambridge Analytica issue of Facebook, etc. So you just need to relate this thing with all these accountability, philosophical framework and other dimensions of public administration. Okay, apart from that, if you read this article, you will get some specific examples. For example, here the article is saying that there is a kind of what are the issues. So if you read about the issues with respect to this specific matter, you will find that there is a kind of official apathy or the opaqueness. There is no accountability, there is no judicial response as such, and apart from that there is a kind of problem of endangered rights. So what you need to understand again, endangered rights. So if you read the PubMed syllabus, the 14th unit of paper 2 talks about significant issues in administration, and it talks about human rights. So again, human right is something that is under the threat. So freedom of word report is something that you can substantiate over here. So this matter can be related to this kind of right issues as well. Apart from that, I already told you about accountability. So you just need to relate the international events like Watergate, this kind of Watergate movement. So Watergate movement was related to USA, but in USA with respect to this movement there was a kind of accountability of the government. But here in India, in this Pegasus controversy, or for that matter the controversy with respect to surveillance, there is a lack of you can say the accountability. So you just need to use and incorporate these things in your answers. For example, let's say there is a question on democratic backsliding, or let's say India is facing you can say there is a threat to Indian democracy. There are you can say reports with respect to this thing that there is a threat to Indian democracy. If you read about the things like there is a freedom of speech and expression is reduced. So there are different reports. Democratic backsliding was the keyword. Apart from that, elected autocracy, it was a keyword in news. Elected autocracy, you can just imagine the spelling over here. So elected autocracy, it was highlighted by one of the report. So you just need to substantiate with this surveillance state or this kind of issues. Okay, so you should not write that it is happening in India. You just need to write that critics are criticizing or critics are arguing that India has the surveillance state or there are allegations on the state. Okay, so in this way you will be able to write the good answer. इसके बाद the next important article that you need to read from the Hindu newspaper dated 1st of November is with respect to the Tamil Nadu, and here there is a kind of controversy where Tamil Nadu government moves Supreme Court against the governor R.N. Ravi over the delay in clearing wills. So again, if you read the syllabus of PubEd paper 2, there is a topic called state government and administration, and governor related issues or controversy is a kind of important, very important theme for your public administration, for in your public administration paper 2 as well as for your GS paper 2. So you just need to read this example and you just need to quote this example. तो इसको याद रखने का है और इसको quote करना है जब भी you get the question like that. Apart from that, ethics, parliamentary conduct and the Indian MPs. So this specific matter is about the ethics committee as well as the parliamentary and the privilege committee of the parliament. So you just need to understand that in your public administration paper 2 there is a unit in the syllabus called union government and administration, under which you need to talk about parliamentary committees. If you read about parliamentary committees, they have the specific advantages over the normal functioning of the parliament, or they have the advantage or they have the pros over the parliament, because here the kind of members they are working across the party line without following the party line. There is no BIP as such, there is no live telecast as such. So what happen is that you can relate this thing with your MP Foley. So what happen is that in normal parliament where there is a live streaming over Lok Sabha TV, Raj Sabha TV or Sansad TV, what happen is that because of the live telecast of that debate, the member needs to be formal and they need to follow the party line. Okay, but in parliamentary committee, as there is no live telecast, there is no, you can say there is no emotional aspect involved in the debates, and the people will talk over the facts and all, and there is a kind of informal approach as well. So Mary Parker Follett talk about conflict, and even Chris Argyris talk about conflict, that there are two kind of conflict. One is substantive conflict and another is affective conflict. Affective is more of an emotional conflict, while substantive conflict is the conflict over the fact or the merit of the issue. So what happens is that emotional conflict or the affective conflict are difficult to resolve. For example, the conflict with respect to international relation, they are difficult to resolve. Why? Because there is a kind of element of emotions in this kind of issues. Okay. On the other hand, there is a substantive conflict where there is only one fact and you need to address that fact in order to address that conflict. Okay. So this substantive conflict is something that is easy to resolve. This affective conflict is something that is hard to resolve. Chris Argyris talks about these two kind of conflict. Chris Argyris or Rances Likert, I am just unable to recollect the name. So Chris Argyris, either Chris Argyris or Rances Likert talk about this thing. So what happens is that in parliamentary committee, the conflict remain substantive rather than affective, because there is no live telecast. तो वहाँ पे कोई टेंशन भी नहीं है, कोई लोड भी नहीं है कि हमें अपनी पार्टी के सपोर्ट में ही बोलना है, कुछ भी हो जाए. ठीक है. So that is something that is creating a kind of substantive conflict prevailing over affective, and that's why because of this kind of you can say, and there is no affective conflict, and that's why it is easy to resolve. So these are the advantages of parliamentary committee. Similarly, you can talk about Woodrow Wilson. He gave the one statement with respect to parliamentary committee. So you have to type that thing in the comment section कि Woodrow Wilson ने parliamentary committee के respect में कुछ ऐसा बोला था क्या जो मैंने यहाँ पे PubEdpedia चैनल पे आपको बताया. So if there is something that was asked and that was said by Woodrow Wilson, you just need to remember it and you need to quote this thing in the answers, है ना. तो answers में quote करो in order to fetch more marks, and it was there in the newspaper called The Hindu only. So मैंने वहाँ पे cover करके बताया है, तो जिसको पता है comment करके नीचे बताने का है. So now let's come back to our topic. So the topic was about the parliamentary committee, and there are two committees that are in the news. One is ethics committee and another is the privilege committee. So what happened is that there is a case going on with respect to this TMC MP. So there was a case with respect to the fact that there were allegations that Miss Mahua Moitra had received money from a businessman for putting question up in the parliament with the view of promoting the person's business interest. So basically this entire issue is going on, and this issue is referred to ethics committee of parliament. And ethics committee is something that is there in the parliament, and there were instances where issues were referred to ethics committee in the past as well. But here this article or this specific entire analysis is talking about this thing, that there is a need to transfer this issue to the privilege committee rather than ethics committee, because ethics committee should look into the ethical conduct which is not defined anywhere in the constitution, or for that matter in any rule of procedure and conduct of business. Overall, ethics committee will look into the moral vagaries of the MPs. So this is not the moral vagary, because here if this issue is there, then ultimately it is a kind of breach of parliamentary privilege, and parliamentary privilege or the privilege committee of the parliament has more specific domain with respect to such kind of issue rather than ethics committee, because ethics committee will look into the moral issues, and this is not the moral issue, this is the pure issue of you can say this is the issue of breach of parliamentary privilege. So here this article is talking about some instances. For example, here if you read this specific paragraph, it is talking about the issues which were referred to the this privilege committee of the parliament. So in 1951 there was the H.G. Mudgal case, an MP of the provisional parliament who was found guilty of promoting the interest of the business association in return of the financial benefits by putting question up. You can just read it over here and you will be able to get the thing that it is a kind of issue with respect to privilege of the parliament, breach of privilege of the parliament. Similarly, in 2005 there was a sting operation by the private channel showed 10 members of the Lok Sabha accepting money for putting questions up in the parliament. Again special committee was appointed और उस कमेटी ने इनको गिल्टी पाया ऑन कंडक्ट of the conduct unbecoming of a member and recommended the expulsion, and MPs were expelled. All 10 MPs were expelled. So you just need to understand that this is the impact of parliamentary committee. So you just need to incorporate. You just need to understand that parliamentary committee can help or can recommend the action against the member of the parliament. They do other kind of things. For example, they can suggest कि कोविड की second layer से पहले we need to strengthen the health infrastructure. ठीक है, तो ऐसे करके ये पॉलिसी इनपुट भी देते हैं. They can suggest the policy recommendation, but also they can suggest these kind of things. So you just need to relate this thing. You just need to use this thing in your answers apart from the knowledge that you take from the Lakshmikant. Okay, so ऐसे करके आपको use करना है. Apart from that, ethics committee. So it talks briefly about this ethics committee, and you just need to understand that this is a kind of analysis that you need to do, that what are the differences between ethics committee and the breach and the privilege committee of the parliament. Apart from that, the third news article you need to read from the Hindu newspaper dated 1st of November is talking about the local governance. It is saying कि staff shortage और financial dependency जो है उसकी वजह से local governance एकदम इनकी हालत ख़राब है. ठीक है, सो दिस इज़ वेल नोन फैक्ट. देयर इज़ अ प्रॉब्लम कॉल्ड, जो प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन में भी आ चुका है, यूपीएससी के GS2 में भी और इन पबेड एज वेल. 3 एप्स की प्रॉब्लम है. 3 एप्स का मतलब होता है फंड, फंक्शन एंड फंक्शनरी. ठीक है, तो 3F की प्रॉब्लम है, एंड दिस इज टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस 3F ओनली. स्टाफ शॉर्टेज का मतलब क्या हो गया? फंक्शनरी. और फाइनेंशियल डिपेंडेंसी का मतलब क्या हो गया? फंड. सो यू जस्ट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट दिस इज द इशू एंड वी नीड टू सॉल्व दिस इशू. और सेकेंड ARC ने भी ये इशू पहले से ऑलरेडी हाईलाइट कर रखा है, तो कोई नया आर्टिकल नहीं है. तो हम पढ़ क्यों रहे हैं जब नया आर्टिकल नहीं है? व्हाट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि यहाँ पे ये कीवर्ड अच्छा है, तो इसलिए मैंने यहाँ पे शेयर किया. लिमिटलेस सिटीज, लिमिटेड पावर. If you came across some essay or something like that with respect to local governance, तो यहाँ पे ये चीज़ you can use as a subheading and you can write a good essay with respect to the local governance. कि there are limitless cities but they have the limited power. Also in GS paper 1, GS2, where there is a kind of urbanization etc., or for that matter local government etc., or for that matter city etc., smart city वगैरह वगैरह. So you just need to remember this thing. The cities are limitless but they have the limited power. You can always use this thing in your answers. And apart from that, here what you need to understand that this is the from where we are getting this specific thing that these issues are there. The current report is Annual Survey of Indian City System 2023 published by Janagrah, a Bangalore based non-profit organization. So नॉन प्रॉफिट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, सिविल सोसाइटी के पार्ट में आ जाएगा. इन पेपर 1 देयर इज अ टॉपिक कॉल्ड डेवलपमेंट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, एंड डेवलपमेंट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के अंदर यू हैव सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप. सिमिलरली पेपर 1 के ही अंदर यू विल गेट अकाउंटेबिलिटी एंड कंट्रोल, और उसके अंदर यू विल गेट सिविल सोसाइटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. दिस जनाग्रह इज नथिंग बट सिविल सोसाइटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो यू कैन टॉक अबाउट जनाग्रह एज द सिविल सोसाइटी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एंड यू कैन यूज दिस एज एन example in your civil society organization. Similarly, local governance is given in your PubEd paper 2 under the heading called urban local government. So again it can be used both ways. I hope you are getting this. So ऐसे करके आपको समझना है. Then the next news article is from the Hindu dated 2nd of November 2023. तो ये आर्टिकल इज टॉकिंग अबाउट यूपीएससी ने अभी कुछ रूल टाइट किए हैं फॉर द अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ स्टेट पुलिस चीफ. सो स्टेट पुलिस चीफ, हु आर द स्टेट पुलिस चीफ? डीजीपीज. सो डीजीपीज के रेस्पेक्ट में आपको पता होनी चाहिए बैकग्राउंड में प्रकाश सिंह जजमेंट 7 गाइडलाइंस जो थी. वन ऑफ द गाइडलाइन इज कि भाई 2 ईयर का टेन्योर मिनिमम होना चाहिए डीजीपी लोग के पास. But here this UPSC guideline is saying something else. This is saying that only police officers within at least 6 months of service left before retirement will be considered for appointment of DGP of a state. The UPSC said in the amended guidelines issued last month. So these are the things that you need to understand कि ये guideline में ऐसा बोला गया है. Apart from that, it is saying that in another change, the empanelment committee constituted by UPSC will not assess the IPS officers on central deputation for the state DGP post if the Union Ministry of Home Affairs says that it will not be possible to relieve the officer. So if the officers are not relieved, they will not be considered, and here 6 months से अगर कम बचा है time, then they will not be appointed. So ultimately it is supporting this Prakash Singh judgment. Why? Because Prakash Singh judgment ने क्या बोला कि 2 साल के लिए अपॉइंट होना ही चाहिए. क्यों होना चाहिए 2 साल के लिए? बिकॉज 2 year is a kind of minimum period for after which they would be able to understand the nitty-gritties of administration from the perspective of DGP. Okay, so उनको वो समझने में 2 साल लग जाएंगे, and that's why 2 साल is something that is suggested कि भाई अब 2 महीने में फिर वहाँ पे जाके बस शिफ्ट हो पाए हैं, बस देख ही पाए हैं, और तब तक फिर रिटायर हो गए या डीजीपी के पोजीशन से हटा दिए गए. ठीक है. सो दिस शुड नॉट बी देयर. 2 years should be the security of tenure. Also it is related to security of tenure, because otherwise what will happen is कि भाई politicization या polytoxication of DGP post हो जाएगा in case there is no security of tenure. So that's why we need the security of tenure. From that perspective also 2 year is something that is important. So 2 year is something that was recommended by Prakash Singh judgment, and here this specific judgment will cater, or this specific, you can say, rule will cater to this 2 year thing. Why? Because now 6 month, if 6 month is left in a particular post, then what will happen is that this will not be possible. Apart from that, if 6 month is left, let's say 2 months are left, 2 महीने बचे हुए हैं, तो क्या होगा फिर उसको यहाँ पे एक्सटेंशन वगैरह देते रहेंगे. तो एक्सटेंशन जब दोगे तो क्या होगा, दिस इज अगेंस्ट द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ ब्यूरोक्रेसी. तो ब्यूरोक्रेसी में bureaucratic rule says that there should be the security of tenure. They also says there should be the certainty. The position should be held by the person, and the certainty should be there. Means bureaucracy में rules and regulations से चीज़ें होनी चाहिए, adhocism नहीं होना चाहिए, discretionary powers etc. should be less. Okay, so from that point of view also it is important. Apart from that, Max Weber was talking about administrative responsibility. So here there should be a kind. Woodrow Wilson was talking about administrative responsibility. So he was of the view that things should be clear as per the rules and regulation. There should be proper hierarchy, and appointment should be in the proper manner. So that's why we are following the UPSC guidelines. Okay, so इस तरीके से आप पढ़ सकते हो. Apart from that, थोड़ा और इसको डिटेल में देखना है, so you can refer to this specific PubEd PDF group. तो यहाँ पे आपने देखा होगा कि इस आर्टिकल को कैसे रिलेट कर पाओगे. तो ब्यूरोक्रेटिक थियरी में मैक्स वेबर ने बात की थी कि भाई स्पेसिफिक टेन्योर अगर होगा तो फिर वहाँ पे एक तरीके से रूल्स, रेगुलेशन, फॉर्मल प्रोसीजर, ये सब होना चाहिए. तो जो अमेंडमेंट जो गाइडलाइंस हैं वो फॉर्मल रूल एक तरीके से बना रही हैं, ब्यूरोक्रेटिक अप्रोच है ये पबेट का। सिमिलरली पब्लिक चॉइस थियरी में आपने पढ़ा होगा जेम्स बुकानन और गॉर्डन ट्यूलॉक, सो दे सजेस्ट दैट public officials often act in their self-interest. The amendment to the guidelines aims to prevent the appointment of DGP on the verge of retirement, which might be seen as a measure to deter individual from taking advantage of their position. तो इस तरीके से it will support the public choice theory as well, क्योंकि public choice theory ने हमें पहले suggest किया है that there is a problem of self-aggrandizement or self-interest of the bureaucrats. So by doing these kind of things there is a kind of reduction in that self-interest approach in PubEd. Apart from that administrative responsibility I have already told you, और NPM के principle भी value for money की बात करते हैं, result oriented governance की बात करते हैं. So from that point of view also it is important. So this is how you just need to read this article. Apart from that, the second news article in the newspaper is talking about virtue of planning. So Vision India at 2047 plan is about to come, and here in this article is talking about the basic elements with respect to this specific thing. The nitty-gritties of the article is not important. What you need to understand is the keywords or the kind of you can say use of keywords or vocabulary in this specific article. So Niti Aayog, what is Niti Aayog is doing? So it is a body that is doing different things, but here in terms of making this vision document in a final shape, what they are doing, they are basically providing the kind of multi-sectoral approach where they are including World Bank President Ajay Banga, Apple Chief Tim Cook, as well as Indian industrialists. And basically this is the kind of network governance they are following. And apart from that, the keywords you can see blips in the pace and vigor of the reform have also been visible across the government. So from 1991 till now we have seen the kind of you can say political reform, administrative reform since independence, etc. Apart from that, minimizing the government's role so that they can act as an enabler rather than the micromanager. These are the keywords that you should read, you should use in your answers. And Niti Aayog is important component when it comes to plans and priorities, which is the part of plan and priority is the part of your PubEd paper 2. So from that point of view, you just need to read this article. Apart from that, the last article is talking about reconciliation over retribution. So the context of the article is and the kind of Israel or Israel-Palestine conflict that is going on. So this article is relevant for your GS paper 4 ethics, where we have the ideas like revenge or vengeance or justice, etc. So revenge is a kind of wild justice, or wild means a raw or not regulated by judicial restraint, etc. So you just need to use this thing in your law and order administration, where the justice should be reformative rather than retributive. क्योंकि retributive होगा तो जेरमी बेंथम ने एक डॉग्स लॉ दिया था. डॉग्स लॉ इज टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस थिंग कि भाई अगर कोई डॉग है तो कुछ गलत कर रहा है, सो व्हाट वी यूज द रिवार्ड एंड पनिशमेंट मैकेनिज्म. वी विल पनिश द डॉग so that the dog will not repeat that mistake again in the future. So it is a kind of retributory system. It is a kind of Jeremy Bentham's dog law system, where we are punishing the individual without telling the basic, you can say, element that why we are punishing, or without reforming that individual. So it is a kind of reward and punishment mechanism. So we just need the reformative administration rather than the retributive administration. So this is the element that you can take from this article and you can use in your law and order administration. Apart from that, here you can see this yellow highlighted portion. Forces of unity and adjustment provide the long lasting solution. In the short run, the ability of an individual to subdue his opponent, etc. You can just read out it from here. So ultimately it is talking about the conflict and the kind of resolution of that conflict. तो ये अगर easily resolve कर भी लोगे short term में तो वो वापस आएगी subterranean. It is so easily possible to extinguish subterranean sentiment that take their own time to erupt. So you just need to use and cultivate this kind of vocabulary for your PubEd paper 1, because here you can just relate this thing with what? You can relate this thing with your Mary Parker Follis. So if you read Mary Parker Follis, he was talking about the conflict resolution, even Likert etc. talk about conflict resolution. Conflict is important for your administrative behavior, क्योंकि administrative behavior में decision making, control, coordination, morale, motivation, leadership, तो ये सब है. तो वहीं पे conflict resolution is important component. So conflict resolution के टाइम पे you can just use this kind of vocabulary कि भाई ऐसा ऐसा हो जाता है. Apart from that you must have read about the conflict resolution, तो उसको थोड़ा सा यहाँ पे भी use करके you can relate the things like that. Apart from that, the article is talking about the effective administration. So yellow highlighted portion is for your PubMed paper 2, PubMed basically, and this kind of blue color is for GS4. Okay, so one of the strength of an effective administrator or an empathetic human being is the ability to retain equanimity. Jainism talk about this, Hinduism talk about this, ऑल मेजर रिलीजन टॉक अबाउट दिस. इक्विनेमिटी गीता में क्या है, एक बोलते हैं स्थित प्रज्ञ, ऐसा करके कुछ रहता है. मतलब स्थित मतलब वो एक तरीके से स्थिर रहना एंड समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो इक्विनेमिटी इज द सेम कॉन्सेप्ट दैट इज देयर इन द जैनिज्म. सो उसका मतलब है वो सुख और दुख में एक जैसा रहने का, ज़्यादा मतलब एकदम से हवा में नहीं उड़ना है और एकदम से बिल्कुल ही डिप्रेशन में नहीं चले जाना है. तो उस टाइप का जो चीज़ होता है उसको इक्विनेमिटी बोलते हैं, यानी रिस्ट्रेंट रखना. सो रिस्ट्रेंट और इक्विनेमिटी. सो यू जस्ट नीड टू दीज यू नीड टू यूज दिस थिंग इन द PubMed paper 2, PubMed paper 1. In PubMed paper 1, effective administration is something, administrative behavior is something that is there. So you just need to incorporate these things. Similarly, you have the keyword like humane governance, HUMAN, human वाला being human वाला human, उसमें E लगाएंगे एंड फिर गवर्नेंस. तो ह्यूमन गवर्नेंस हो गया, या इस तरीके से एम्पैथेटिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन हो गया, है ना, गुड गवर्नेंस का जो कॉन्सेप्ट हो गया, एथिकल गवर्नेंस हो गया. सो फ्रॉम दैट पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑल्सो यू जस्ट नीड टू कल्टिवेट दिस काइंड ऑफ वोकेबुलरी. ओके, सो ऐसे ही राज ऋषि का कॉन्सेप्ट इज समथिंग दैट इज देयर इन द कौटिल्य अर्थशास्त्र, दैट द राजा और द लीडर शुड बी लाइक ऋषि, है ना. ऋषि मतलब दैट द पर्सन शुड फॉलो द निष्काम कर्मयोग सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग. मतलब एकदम से मतलब एक ऋषि की तरह होने चाहिए. उसके कोई जो अलग अलग द काइंड ऑफ यू कैन से द काइंड ऑफ बैड थिंग्स लाइक होती हैं जो भी, वो नहीं होनी चाहिए. गुस्सा नहीं आना चाहिए एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स. काम, क्रोध, मद, लोभ, मोह काइंड ऑफ थिंग शुड नॉट बी देयर. इक्विनेमिटी. सो जस्ट नीड टू इनकॉर्पोरेट दीज थिंग्स लाइक दिस. सिमिलरली कोई भरोसा नहीं, GS4 में यू कैन यूज फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन द UPPCS 2023 in the mains there was a question that can the Bhagavad Gita can Bhagavad Gita guide the civil servants? Comment. तो दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चन वेयर यू जस्ट नीड टू इनकॉर्पोरेट दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स कि भाई हाँ ठीक है, भगवद गीता टॉक्स अबाउट स्थिति प्रज्ञ, इट टॉक्स अबाउट निष्काम कर्मा, इट टॉक्स अबाउट एम्पैथेटिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन व्हेन इट सेज कि भाई the you can say compassion is at the roots of dharma or the righteousness. Dharma here means righteousness. So you just need to incorporate these kind of things in your answer. Similarly, you have this evolution of Indian administration, so you can expect such kind of question in your PubMed paper 2 as well, where you can be asked about you can say these kind of philosophies with respect to like कौटिल्य अर्थशास्त्र में जो राजऋषि है, योग क्षेम है, all those things are already there. You might be asked from this perspective as well. I hope you are getting. So इस तरीके से आपको चीज़ें पढ़नी है, समझनी है और उसके ऊपर क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस करना है. दिस इज इट फॉर द डे. इफ़ यू आर फॉलोइंग दिस चैनल यू मस्ट बी गेटिंग द डेली अपडेट्स. तो यहाँ पे डेली ऐसे ऐसे अपडेट आते रहते हैं दैट व्हाट यू नीड टू डू एंड व्हाट यू डोंट नीड टू डू फॉर योर PubMed. तो यहाँ पे आप सिंपली फॉलो कर सकते हो. यू विल गेट द डेली आर्टिकल्स, you will get the daily analysis of important articles. You will also get the meme sort of thing for your PubMed paper 1 and paper 2. This is it for the day. Thank you so much.